Hey internet, how's it going? So I fixed it, kind of. I made part of it much better and part of it worse. So the problem with the water bottle drill as presented by Josh is the grip. So this is really awkward, and you don't have a lot of control. You don't have a lot of positive grip. So in order to get a positive grip, you really have to clamp down, which introduces more tension, which is theoretically bad. It doesn't really matter because it's a drill, but like Josh demoed in his video, you can kind of get a sense for if you're going to miss right because you have too much grip, or if you're going to miss left because there's not enough grip. This interface with a human hand, which I think most of us have, is awkward in that you're either going to have too much grip or not enough grip. That was my experience. I either grip locked or didn't get the power exactly like that to where the hit point felt good and the release felt good. So what I did was I just tied a little tube plate, I guess, I don't know, two loopy loop thingy, monkey fist, which I'm reasonably convinced, given volume, that monkey fist tutorials on YouTube are actually the real reason the internet was created, because there's so many of them. So you can look that up and go figure out how to do it. It is finicky. It is hard. There are lots of tutorials. You can't do it. I had paracord lying around because I'm a nerd. So I tied a clove hitch around the bottom of the bottle, backed it up with 2 half hitches, one of which has come out, but it's still attached. And then a monkey fist is just a big enough ball that you can get a positive grip on it. And you can't do this just holding the bottle. So it solves the grip issue. This will rip out of your hand at a predictable point and allow you to get enough rotational power on the thing that it works. But now I lose my transverse plane. Streets, who lives on streets? You lose the ability to keep it on the transverse plane, which is the horizontal plane. Like this, holding the bottle cap, I can swing it around and it's hinging here. Like it sags a little bit, but that's fine. It just keeps the weight down, kind of where we want it anyways. So I can feel this curling in and curling out, and the implement will remain heavy the whole time because the weight is at the bottom. If I do this, the weight comes back to the center, and now I can't throw it well. So in order to throw it well, I need the weight to stay out there, and then it can hinge, which it will do. It'll stay down, but now I lose my ability to keep it on the transverse plane. But your ability to feel the swing out and have the implement get heavy at, you stay heavy the whole time, but of course get the most heavy at the apex of your swing, which is the release point. So I'll demo this a couple times. I hate editing videos, so I don't want to have to edit me walking a bunch of times. But now I can hit my intended line of aim. So I'm going to throw at that post with the cedar branch hanging down on top of it, and I should reasonably be able to hit it. So now with this implement, my swing plane wants to be lower. Like every video of Seabass swinging a hammer, he's not swinging a hammer up here because that's fighting gravity. You want to go with gravity. So that happens more with this implement than I would like it to. I like Josh's version where he's just holding here better in terms of feeling a transverse plane. So you should do both. You'll learn something slightly different from both. But I like this better on the whole. It doesn't drive me crazy because I can get to a reasonable release point quickly. So throwing at that second post from the right. And you really take some power to get this to work, so you kind of have to send it. So that was like right on my target line. So one issue solved. Other issues, I'm probably not in frame. Other issues made worse, but I think that's a partial fix for what I didn't like about the implement. It would be better if you could put an actual hinge on a stick so that it would hinge like Seabass's reciprocating dingle arm thing, but stay on the transverse plane. So anyways, more engineering necessary. Thanks, Internet. Check out the Patreon. See ya. I don't have to say hello, Internet, because I'm going to splice this on the other video. It's fall now, so I'm wearing a fall hat, even though it's 70 degrees outside. But it's cold in the basement, so I'm covered. Anyways, a little bit more about this in theory stuff that I didn't quite cover outside yesterday. So I think part of the reason I like this better is because this suits my style of throw better. I'm not super keen on who actually throws this way, but my impressions are that Seabass throws a little more like this. Garrett Girthy throws a little bit more like this. Dave Wiggins does not throw like this. Clint Blitz and Nick Crush do not throw like this. So all of the three of those people that are very strong, very athletic, throw with more of a deep pocket, passing the brace style. And me and Seabass, a little bit on the less athletic side, throw with more of a swingy arm style. So we're not getting into this deep pocket thing and using this hinge very aggressively at the end of the throw. We're more swinging heavy, if you will, not bending our elbow a whole bunch, but we still line everything up, bam, so that it hits right there. That's why I talk about hit point so much, is because it matters more for this style. If you get to a deep pocket, well, your hit point will kind of just work itself out. Because your hand, everything is being drawn that way, everything is going to uncoil well as a function of the speed your physical hand is able to get to. I can't get to, I don't know how fast your hand is going versus how fast a tech disc would be measured at, but I can't get this going very quickly. So I need to rely very much on boom, that tip of the whip thing, that last pivot off of the fingers. I need that to work. I need everything that I'm doing to focus energy, boom, to that point. Whereas some of those other players are more just getting everything moving quickly, and then the organization of the hit point as per the specific stuff that I try to talk about, language is inadequate. It just kind of works out. I haven't been able to make that work. I believe that correlates with athletic level, of which mine is not high. This works better with what I call a shallow pocket style. So this can work better, I believe, with a deep pocket thing, which is why that doesn't make sense though, because I think Josh throws swingy like me, like he doesn't. I don't think he gets to a deep pocket. I haven't like nitpicked his videos recently, but that's the impression I get from his swing. Boom, is that it's very swingy. But the way that I threw this the one time in the yard, I had the thought after filming that like that's a shallow pocket style, because I'm kind of getting it behind me and I'm kind of not deep pocketing. My elbow isn't bent a ton, but it still comes out of my hand and it gets heavy right there. Boom. On the end point, the apex of the swing, if you will. And I can't, like what I meant when I said you really have to send it to get it to work, is in order to get this nice arc in to arc out thing to happen. I just hate the grip so much. I just hate it. But I have to be holding the water bottle to get it to top view, to get it to curl in and curl out. Boom. You want to see deviation of the disc. So it's no one ever actually does a straight line pull, even if they are thinking they're doing a straight line pull. It's always here to here to there, the disc moves about at least one disc width. Even on the people who are thinking straight and doing their best to pull straight, there's still some out and out happening. And that still happens with a shallow pocket style like I teach. It's just not out, in, out. It's my line of pull is here. If my target is that way, it's not at the target, it's 45 degrees off of the target. So this is my out. If I turn that 90 degrees, 90 degrees, it's the same. I'm going 45 to 45 to throw that way. But what I do is I take my line, translate it this way, and then I'm in the no roundy zone. When I reach out, it's too far behind me, according to the internet. Which, you know, if you're thinking it works. It works as a baseline metric, but getting here doesn't mean I'm rounding. Getting here means I'm rounding. Once I've collapsed, I'm rounding. I can get here, drive the elbow forward, that's the in. This is not rounding because I'm not here. And then I get to my hit point here. Anyways, the string makes that not... you can't... You'd have to go so fast to have the inside curve be smooth and transition to the outside curve. So that's, I think, water bottle and holding the water bottle as Josh demoed is better as a thought experiment. And my suspicion is that that's going to be easier to make work if you use more of a deep pocket style. Try both, see what works for you. I think what Josh demoed in the video of calibrating your aim point with your hit based on, you know, where the object goes, that makes a lot of sense. I think the most valuable thing is the thought experiment of how do I keep this water inside and then outside and not have it slosh a bunch while I'm doing this. That kind of breaks down when we go here because you can't get it to swing in and swing out and keep the water at the bottom without letting it hang down too much. But you can grip it so I don't throw it through the window. You can get a shallow pocket to work. So there's no point where this thing is coiled in super deep. It's here, and then the arm and the water bottle straighten out-ish. You don't actually want to get to dead straight because you're going to pop your elbow. There's potential to pop your elbow. Humans want to roll over, release. Note, baseball rolls over, release. We're just doing that backwards. Yeah. So, shallow pocket is a thing. You can do that too. I feel like my little monkey fist contraption works better for that. But this kind of handicaps you if you're trying to get that curve in and curve out. Again, which I think is very valuable in the way Josh demoed the drill, doing it like this. And I think that's an excellent thought experiment to get you to understand how you want this thing to go, even though this is not full of water. You can still think about it the same way, and it'll get you the idea of like, okay, I want to throw this as if the weight was out here and it was a hammer. Okay, good luck. Check out the Patreon.